What's good, Raider Nation? This is part 2 of the video that I was talking about in part 1. Make sure you go out if you're only interested in checking out what I had to say about the Bears matchup with the Raiders. You go to part 1. This video right here is in regards to the controversy in regards to JonGruden allegedly using a racist trope to talk about a black man by the name of DeMaurice Smith, who is the head of the NFL's Player Association, which Gruden made back in 2011, which is 10 years ago. Just want to give you a quick background on that. I'm going to say some stuff, but I want to preface something. This kind of commentary, this kind of subject matter is going to be something that people aren't going to agree on 100%. We already don't agree on who should be the quarterback of the Raiders. We already don't agree on that because people say DC, some people say Marcus Mariota, some people say all kinds of things. So we're not going to agree. I'm not putting this on here to get your approval. I'm getting it on here just to get my opinion out there and what I think. Everybody has a right to think whatever they want to think, man. And I have a right to think whatever the fuck I want to think. So I'm going to say it like that because when you're talking about these kind of things, there's a lot of politics that go with that, all right? So with that being said, here's the facts. Back in 2011, JonGruden was not a coach for the Raiders. He was not a member of the NFL and coaching a tree. What he was an analyst for ESPN. Remember back when he was on Monday Night Football? He sent the email back and forth between him and Bruce Allen, who used to be with the Raiders, used to be assistant general manager or whatever his position was with the Raiders for a lot of years, who was with the Redskins at the time. Let's call it what it is. People want to say the Washington football team, but if you're going to talk about what happened in 2011, you got to go by what they were called. They were called the Redskins, which is a racial epithet, okay? I don't care what nobody says. You don't get to come out and start talking about what Gruden said. We're going to get to that without saying at the time the team that the emails were going to was called the Washington Redskins. Let's just keep that in mind, okay? And with me having Indian blood in my veins, I could say that, all right? Let's move on. JonGruden allegedly, or for what's being said, is not even alleged because he admitted to it, that he came out and he's talked about DeMaurice Smith, because at the time it was going to be an NFL lockout. He was talking to one of his friends, Bruce Allen, going back and forth on email. And I'm paraphrasing because it's not in front of me, but I'm going to paraphrase. He called DeMaurice Smith DeMaurice Smith or DeMaurice or dumbass or whatever the hell he called him. It was something in regards to being dumb. And he said that he had lips like the Michelin Man. I'm paraphrasing. You guys can go look at the exact quote. I'll put it up here so you guys can see exactly what he said. And 11 years ago, NFL has been doing an investigation on the Washington football team. All right. They have 650,000 emails that they went through. And out of 650,000 emails, they just ran across JonGruden talking to Bruce Allen. And now they're putting it out there that JonGruden is a racist. Here's how this goes, man. Here's how this goes. All right. Everybody has their opinion about what's racist and what's not racist. All right. But what you need to understand is, number one, even if he was allegedly, it's about he was not a member of the Raiders at that time. OK, he was a civilian, as we say. OK, those of us that have the street sense will say you're either in the game or you're a civilian. He was a civilian. He said what he needed to say in a private conversation. Unfortunately, it came out. Now, people are calling for Gruden's head. People are trying to get him fired. People are saying he needs to be fired. Okay, let's just say hypothetically that's the case. You want to do that. The problem is with all of that is that there's been other racial things that have happened in the National Football League that had nothing transpired from that. If we all remember when Antonio Brown was trying to be a member of the Raiders, because understand he never was a member of the Raiders, when he had that run-in with Mike Mayock, he called him, quote-unquote, a cracker in front of the entire media at practice. He didn't get suspended for that. He should have got suspended for it. Racism is racism, okay? But with that being said, Gruden, I don't think, in my opinion, and it's my right to say that, I don't think he's a racist because the terminology of having lips like the Michelin Man, I did my homework. That's the thing I think you guys need to do. Do your homework and find out whether or not you really understand the connotation. And back in the Midwest where he's from, Jon Gruden's from Ohio originally. You got Ohio, you got Minneapolis, Minnesota, you got Illinois, and you got Michigan. That's where the Michelin Man is at. I've heard the Michelin Man be used to call somebody fat back in those era. You know, even Prince, the late great Prince, made a song called Tricky talking about George Clinton and them. He called him an old Michelin Man, okay? The Michelin Man himself isn't even a black character. He's a white character, okay? You go look at the Michelin Man, he's not black, he's white, okay? That's first and foremost. Second of all, that terminology has also been used to say that people, their lips are rubbery, meaning that they're a liar. They're somebody who you can't believe, that their lips are just flapping around, okay? Now, I understand being a black person, that is offensive. It could be offensive, okay? And I understand how it could be construed as that, all right? But when you say something inappropriate, you have to take the good with the bad, okay? When you take something that could be construed as being racist, even though I don't particularly think that, because if you look at his history, it's hard for a racist to only be racist one time, okay? That's just my opinion. I've been called the N-word by people who aren't of my race. I have been a victim of racism, okay? And trust me, the people who I've had multiple situations, they make it clear. You don't get to be racist one time and then don't be racist no more. So in my opinion, what was done was done. He came out, he made a statement about it. There's really not too much you could say. But in this cancel culture, hey man, anybody could get canceled for saying anything nowadays. Okay, Dave Chappelle his head is on the block right now for the things that being a comic, trying to be funny, doing what he does for a living. His head's on is being called for. Urban Meyer's head's being called for his situation in regards to his marital situation and what happened with that situation. People are filming you. People are looking for stuff. They're digging through your old emails. They're digging through your media posts. They're doing all kinds of stuff, okay? So you better understand that at the end of the day, you got to be responsible. Mark Davis came out and made a statement in regards to the Raiders not being a part of any of that. Our history says that, okay? That's that situation. And lastly, we're going to see how this plays out, man. All I can say is, hey, man, the stones are going to fall where they fall at. We're going to see what Roger Goodell does, because Roger Goodell can suspend Gruden. He could be fined. The Raiders can fine him. We're going to see what's going on. In the meantime, in between time, we got to play football still. If Gruden has not lost the locker room, and what I was told is that he went out and he made a statement to the team before it became public, as long as he's not losing that locker room, if he lost that locker room behind this, man, we got a big problem. But we're going to see whether or not he lost the locker room or not. I would hope that he didn't, but he has a lot to prove, and he needs to really do what he has to do to make it up to Raider Nation, make it up to our team, and make it up to whoever he insulted, whether that be the black community or whoever else is offended. That's what it is, man. It is what it is. He said it. He has to deal with the repercussions. But do I think he's a racist? In my opinion, no, only because I know that if you're a racist, you got to do a whole lot more than that. That's what I got to say about it. Hate it or love it. All right, man, love all y'all out there. Raider Nation for life. I don't give a damn what nobody else says. I'm my own man. I make my own decisions. I make my own opinions. All right, man, love all y'all. Salute.